It's not like, you know, what round he's going to do him in, what round. I think as soon as he hits much harder than Liam Smith. And I think, well,
I did say the emotions got to bear me first time round. It'd be a lie saying if it didn't. When I get that win on Saturday, it'll mean a lot to me, my dad, my team. Ultimately, you know, the family feud needs to be settled. This is the finale. This is the end. This ends here.
Nigel Benn erupted at Chris Eubank Jr. during the press conference. And it wasn't just a heated exchange. It was a full-blown emotional explosion from a father defending his bloodline. Nigel Benn's passion came pouring out as he stood up for Conor, making it clear that the Benn name still carries fire, pride, and unshakable belief. He dismissed Eubank.
Give me the confidence because I know my boy. He's got my DNA, but much better.
It's not even for a British level.
No. Listen.
Ben, do I hear?
Hold on. Let me finish.
Jr.'s accomplishments, questioned the strength of his pedigree, and reminded the world that Conor Benn comes from a fighting legacy built on intensity and hunger. To Nigel, Conor isn't just his son. He's the sharper, more relentless continuation of the Benn warrior spirit. Nigel didn't stop after the first burst of...
It's a different mindset, Jay. That's the good thing about it. Because he's training, he's always been an impeccable trainer. When it comes to training, I've never known anyone that trains harder than Conor.
Fire. Moments later, he doubled down with a fiercer warning, his voice shaking with conviction. The pride on his face was unmistakable as he praised Conor's mindset and discipline. This isn't the same Conor Benn who fought Eubank before.
I wanted a new set of eyes on this fight. I didn't want to go in there with the same kind of game plan and you know, we've got to throw some banana skins in there. We've got to catch this.
This is a version sharpened by experience and hardened by frustration. Nigel's every word carried weight, serving as a warning shot aimed straight at Chris Eubank Jr. Be ready, because this version of Conor is coming with purpose.
I've seen in previous fight what I had with him that, I say it's the confidence level that he have going into this fight.
Of course, obviously going into this fight, Eubank fought like he had a point to prove, obviously with the legacy of the fight, and then now everyone expects him kind of to win that.
Eubank Jr. responded with an eerily calm tone, one that hinted at something more dangerous beneath the surface. He's not approaching this rematch with the same swagger or emotional charge as before. There's calculation in his voice, an understanding that mistakes can't be repeated. With a new trainer,
This fight for me is a lot closer. Conor can catch him and calm me down a little bit on the outside and not rush like he was rushing his work and all the head movement and little short steps and all this on the outside.
A training system and a new mindset, Eubank is presenting himself as someone thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. When he referred to avoiding banana skins, it revealed a strategic shift. He's planning for the unpredictable. He's preparing to strike at the right...
I'm a big fan of Chris and respect is due. And I think Chris had probably given all that he had. Whereas Conor, I looked at Conor, thought, you got some more to give. My problem is you overcook it, you overthink it. And if you overthink it, what will happen is you'll make a mistake. And because if you give Chris time to breathe, to think, to box, he's going to beat you. So my advice to you, Conor, would be...
moment, not simply overwhelm Conor with confidence. Even Robert Back, who has watched Eubank for years, sees a shift. He believes Eubank Jr. is stepping into this rematch with calm confidence, something missing in their first meeting.
And he's brought in Bomac, one of the best trainers in the world. What does that tell you? Because he knows he's got to be better. If he's not better this time, he loses. And, you know, he's taking it seriously, and so he should.
That earlier fight, Back said, was driven by pride and the pressure of a family legacy. But this one? It's about control. It's about discipline. It's about proving that Eubank can be more than a fighter who relies on athleticism and heart. Back's belief in Eubank's new mindset.
In the fight, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if Eubank loses. I don't really see that happening. Again, he's fighting a career best welterweight. He knows that. From a psychological perspective, when you know you've got a smaller guy in front of you, you kind of start 2 or 3 rounds up in your own mind. So, like I say, when you look at the fight, it wasn't close enough to warrant a win for Ben. He didn't win it.
Suggests this rematch could reveal a more polished, tactical version of the fighter. Carl Froch added a veteran's insight, offering a grounded perspective in the sea of emotional takes. Froch sees this fight as tighter than the first. Both men have grown.
And I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win, and there's a new lease of life maybe under Bomac, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first. And Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Benn in this.
Conor learned from pushing too hard too early, while Eubank learned from believing he was untouchable. Froch hinted that composure will be the deciding factor. If Conor Benn manages his pace, stays balanced, and doesn't burn himself out, he keeps the fight competitive. But if he lets emotion drive him again, Froch believes Eubank's experience and ring IQ could lead the way to victory. Johnny Nelson's take came with brutal honesty. He believes Eubank may have hit his ceiling as a fighter.
Like I say, the fight wasn't a letdown because it was a good fight. But as an event, you won't get a better event than that. And they'll have to go some, actually, to surpass that or even equal that. Let's just hope they get the same turnout in terms of the numbers. People going through the live gate and watching that fight, because it was a great event. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. You won't get world title fights that actually are a better event.
While Conor Benn still has potential nowhere near tapped. But Nelson also warned that overthinking could be Benn's downfall. If he walks into the ring too focused on strategy rather than instinct, he could give Eubank the time he needs to adapt, control distance, and dictate the rhythm. Nelson framed the rematch as a mental battle just as much as it is a physical one, a chess match where hesitation could cost either fighter the night. Eddie Hearn added his trademark bluntness, stating clearly that Eubank Jr. is under enormous pressure. Bringing in a trainer like Bomac shows how seriously he's taking this fight, and Hearn didn't hide the stakes.
Being there.
First fight, Dave. What went wrong for AJ, or what went right for Usyk?
I think it was more what went wrong for Joshua than what went right for Usyk.
If Eubank fails to improve, if he loses to Conor Benn in this rematch, his credibility at the top level is finished. Hearn didn't sugarcoat it. This is do or die for Chris Eubank Jr.'s reputation, and everyone in British boxing knows it. Former world champion Duke McKenzie offered unwavering support for Eubank Jr., saying he would be shocked if Eubank lost. McKenzie's reasoning wasn't about hype, it was psychological and strategic. Eubank enters with size, experience, and composure, facing a naturally smaller...
But they're just not the same size. Rehydration clauses should not be a thing in boxing. I know IBF have a £10 morning after ruling, but it's just not safe. The term rehydration clause just don't sound safe. Rehydration clause, just don't agree with it. Eubank's been up at super middleweight, and now they're going to drag him down to near light middleweight. I don't like it.
A man like Benn gives him an early advantage. Duke framed it simply. Eubank starts ahead on the scorecard of physical attributes, and it's Benn's challenge to close the gap through skill, grit, and precision. Adam Smith, with decades of commentary behind him, described this rematch as a career crossroads for Chris Eubank Jr. Win, and he's back in the mix for world titles. Lose, and he's tumbling down a long, uncertain road. Smith also highlighted Conor Benn's rising self-belief. Their first fight changed him. The way he stood up to Eubank's power and aggression gave him confidence that he belongs at that level. This rematch isn't just about a score being settled, It's about generational momentum.
Somebody, we will not find out, at least for about 20 years. Yeah, but if other people murder people, they don't like to brag about it. He don't brag.
Versus long-standing legacy. Mackenzie, reflecting on their first showdown, described it as one of the most electrifying atmospheres in modern British boxing. He wasn't talking just about punches thrown. He was talking about history, crowd energy, and the weight of two names carved into the sport's folklore. But Mackenzie wasn't convinced the rematch could reach that same level of magic. Those rare, intense nights don't happen twice easily. Still, he admitted that if both fighters bring the same hunger, the rematch could elevate their rivalry into one of the great British trilogies. Simon Jordan cut through all the noise.
I think Conor is a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr is a boxer.
Technically, yeah.
And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr is having. He's got this thing in his mind, he's a masterful boxer. No, you're not.
No.
I'm sorry, no, you're not.
He's been noise with a colder, more cynical perspective. While others praised the rivalry, Jordan questioned whether the hype was authentic or manufactured. He didn't deny the excitement, but he challenged the motives behind it. For Jordan, it wasn't about legacy or family pride. It was about promoters crafting drama to boost ticket sales and pay-per-view numbers. He voiced frustration with boxing's growing reliance on storylines instead of sporting merit. His honesty resonated with fans tired of theatrics overshadowing the fights themselves. Dave Allen brought the conversation back to fighter safety, a topic often buried beneath the spectacle. He slammed the idea of rehydration clauses, calling them dangerous and unfair, forcing a natural super middleweight like Eubank to shrink his body and limit his recovery after the weigh-in.
So I think it'll get a lot more people wanting to tune into that fight, and obviously we're going to win the next fight. And but yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting Conor Benn ready to fight, and it's going to be historic.
Allen didn't hold back. It's unsafe and irresponsible. His comments reminded everyone that beneath the cheering crowds and bright lights lies a brutal sport where health is on the line. His words cut through promotional chaos like a wake-up call. Then came Derek Chisora, offering a chilling insight into Eubank Jr.'s power and precision in sparring. According to Chisora, Eubank doesn't just throw shots. He unloads full-speed combinations with accuracy and venom. Those sparring sessions revealed timing, rhythm, and aggression honed through discipline. Critics may doubt Eubank's adaptability, but Chisora's story painted a different picture. A fighter who still carries the raw tools that once made him such a dangerous contender. If he brings that same controlled fury into the ring, Conor Benn could face a technical assault.
The end, sort of bigger guy won it. The rematch is going to be interesting, I think. He's now realised that I can hurt that fighter. I've felt the other fighter's power. Next time, I know what's coming. I think he might even do better in the next one. I think he's got a shout to win it.
And Eubank's older.
I get these fights, but you do want to see Ben, can you kick on to try and win a...
Instead of a wild brawl. Tony Bellew, never one to sugarcoat, went after Eubank Jr. with a brutal assessment. He argued that Eubank isn't as slick or technical as he believes. Bellew gave credit to Conor Benn as the sharper, more fundamentally sound fighter. Faster, cleaner, and more dangerous with combinations. Bellew insisted it wasn't disrespect. It was reality. If Eubank walks into the rematch believing he's superior rather than prepared to outwork Benn, that arrogance could become his downfall. Boxing isn't just about toughness, it's about growth. And in Bellew's eyes, Benn may have grown more since their first clash. Tony Sims added yet another layer of confidence from Benn's corner. He doesn't speak like a promoter selling hype. He speaks like a general outlining a military strategy. When Sims says, "We're going to win the next fight," there's no hesitation. He believes deeply in Conor's development and the adjustments they've made. For Sims, this is generational. The Benn-Eubank rivalry is almost biblical within British boxing, and this chapter is about reclaiming pride. Sims sees history repeating itself, but this time in Conor's favor. Ade Oladipo wrapped the narrative perfectly, pointing out the brutal truth. The first fight went the bigger man's way, but the rematch is different. Both fighters now understand each other's power, timing, and limits. Conor tasted Eubank's shots and didn't fold. Eubank learned that Benn's not just a smaller brawler, he's a legitimate threat. Ade highlighted the mind games too. Youth and hunger favor Benn. Size and experience favor Eubank. But time? Time is ticking louder for Eubank. This rematch isn't just boxing, it's theater, it's legacy, it's family pride carved into fists and footwork. It's the rebirth of British boxing's fiercest rivalry. From Nigel Benn's fire to Tony Sims's confidence, from Eubank's reinvention to the analysts' divided opinions, everyone agrees on one thing. This fight carries pressure that can break a man or turn him into a legend. Both fighters have evolved. Conor Benn's aggression is sharper. Chris Eubank Jr.'s composure is deeper. But when that bell rings, none of the talk matters anymore. What matters is who stands tall in the final round. The Benn and Eubank names have echoed through British boxing for decades. Now, a new chapter is about to be written. Who wins the rematch? Conor Benn or Chris Eubank Jr.? Drop your prediction in the comments. Subscribe for daily boxing breakdowns and stay locked in. This rivalry is only getting started.